Well, here we are everyone for another episode of F1 My Team. We're back on it once again for the US Grand Prix here today at the circuit of the Americas. Now, in the background you can see we're going to get the weekend underway, but before we do, if you haven't seen the previous episode, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen for the Japanese Grand Prix. And also, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the red subscribe button. It really helps me out. But with that said, let's jump into today's action. So, a bit of a situation on our hands. Now, I've had a look at the engine, and with USA, Mexico, Australia, Brazil and Abu Dhabi remaining, I don't think we're going to make it on the current control electronics. It's the only component I'm not sure about. So, with 50% wear on the second component, and I think 76 on the first one, we're going to have to take an engine penalty this weekend and accept the consequences. If I look at the remaining circuits, this is by far probably my weakest one, so it makes sense to take it right now. So we're going to start today's race from the back of the grid and do a good old-fashioned last to first challenge. Now this weekend, no rain expected. We are still the 5th best team on the grid, but we do have upgrades on the way. Now these upgrades are going to be the final ones because it was announced in the last episode. We do have a regulation change for Season 2 on the way. So we're going to start saving up points and getting ready for next season. Now this weekend you may notice the car looks a bit different. We've gone back to the original livery with the blue being a bit more predominant on the car and inverting the colours around compared to the previous livery, and I thought, you know what, let's keep switching up, making it a bit more interesting. And after practice this weekend we scored only 400 points, not as much as I usually do because USA is a tough track for me. I'm not the best around there, and it's also one of the AI's best tracks as well, so those two kind of go hand in hand, and I wasn't able to hit the qualifying performance pace program target, so not a full amount of points this weekend, but still a decent amount, and we're going to keep saving up as we are done now with upgrades this season pretty much. We're looking pretty decent. Once those final ones get on the car, that's going to be it for us. A few discounts get applied, and then obviously, you know, changes to driver acclaim and stuff are going to take place. But generally speaking, we're now going to move into the race. Obviously, qualifying happened. I retired straight away. And we're going to start the US Grand Prix from P22 on the grid and last place. So, hey, listen, we've got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. And if we somehow score points, I'll be very, very happy. So let's get into the action and let's see if we can have a little bit of fun.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds of around 200 miles an hour, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the 2 DRS zones into Turn 1 and the very long back straight into Turn 12. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's start by getting your take on Daniel Ricciardo. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lando Norris and Rosberg, Stroll, Gasly, Russell and Esteban Ocon. Ricciardo, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen and Tsunoda. Giovinazzi, Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty. Christian Lundgaard and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin, Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi and Martinez. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now you guys know the drill by now. A last question mark challenge. What's not to love? P22 and last place for us here today at the Circuit of the Americas, and we start from the back of the grid. So the only way is forwards. Our back is against the wall. We can't go backwards anymore. We're already in last place. There's nothing to lose. So it should be good fun. If you guys are excited for the race, drop a like off the bat. Let's try and smash over 1,200 likes for this race. Now, strategy-wise, we're going to start in the medium, and then we're going to look for a set of soft tyres. Now, there is rain later on, but the plan here is to kind of adapt a little bit. So we may switch the strategy and box like 4 or 5 laps earlier for the softs if we find out the rain is going to arrive a bit before schedule. If it arrives super early, then I might try and just stay on the mediums until it rains and we go straight to the intermediate tyre. So we'll see how it goes. There's a bit of like, let's say, flexibility with the strategy this race, so we'll keep an eye on things. Fuel-wise, I'm going to run 0.1, just a little bit more than usual for this one because it is a bit of a fuel-heavy circuit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So enough waffling, and let's jump into the action. Okay, here we go. The dogs outside are barking in anticipation as we get ready for the 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Oof, bit of wheel spin in the second phase, not ideal. We're going to look for the outside. That's the way you want to go around here. Always the better line, and you get to make up a load of places. You can see here we've just completely sailed around the outside, and we're up to P17 already, so lovely stuff. Raikkonen's a bit slow here, off turn 2. Not quite close enough though as Leclerc makes the move on Giovinazzi. So both Ferraris, I believe, with grid penalties running quite low down. Sainz is behind us right now, I believe, so not bad so far. Everyone's soft tyres, as expected, so we're going to be the odd one out in this one in terms of strategy, but that shouldn't be a problem. That may be an opportunity. We're going to try the outside again here into the hairpin, taking inspiration from turn 1 as we go the long way round on Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi, of course, who will be retiring at the end of the season. I feel like I've not made that very clear because I only got a quick message on my inbox about it, but Raikkonen will be hanging up his helmet at the end of season 2. Oh my god, Raikkonen's actually going to end up lunging it on Giovinazzi here. We're going to go on the outside though, again. Come on now, surely into this one, we'll get the move done. There it is, job done, we've got it. So P16 from P22, 6 places gained, as we drift our way through the double left-hander. I don't mind that. Good start, and good stuff so far. Let's see if we can try and keep pace somehow on these tyres. Last year we really struggled, so it won't be easy, I don't think. Our car is much improved, but ultimately this is not one of my best tracks, and that's just a fact. And it's one of the AI's better ones, so we'll see. No idea where Rosberg is, to be honest with you. I know he's ahead of us, which is good. Let's see if we can catch a glimpse into turn 1. No, I still can't see him, so Rosberg possibly running in the top 10 this race. So a bit of an update. The pack has broken up a little bit, so Tsunoda can't keep pace. I've been able to hang on to DRS, which is important, so yeah, we're just chilling right now behind Giovinazzi. We don't really have the pace to kind of overtake him realistically. Just these medium tyres are a little bit off the pace right now. But the key thing here is that Tsunoda just can't keep up. So we've disconnected from the lead pack, which is a bit of a shame. Luckily, unlike the other guys around me, we are in the medium. So the fact we're on a strategy offset, we'll still be okay. We'll get away with this. But the guys on soft might struggle either way. Leclerc trying to put some pressure on Tsunoda. Not quite able to get the pass done. As Sainz makes a move behind, so he's closing up as well. But we'll see what happens. So far, I'm not complaining, but I would like to see us get a move on though. Leclerc tried to go for it on Tsunoda. I wonder if Leclerc got wing damage. I think he did. Yeah, Leclerc's got damage. He's going slow. He tried to go for it on Tsunoda, it backfired, and he's got front wing damage. You can see how much Tsunoda's pulling away by, and Leclerc does pit. So we may actually be able to pass Giovinazzi here. He will have DRS, but it doesn't actually have a slipstream. Here we go. Can we try and get this move on Giovinazzi here? Trying to have a look around the outside. Not quite able to, just don't have the grip. Giovinazzi holds on for now, but we'll try and stick with him, see if he can drag us back towards Tsunoda. Now this might be a different outcome. This time Giovinazzi does not have DRS, and here we go, we've got a lot more straight line speed, and that's going to be a pretty easy overtake and a foregone conclusion. So job done from us. Let's try and get within a second of Tsunoda here. Now we've managed to get back within a second of Yuki Tsunoda. I don't think anyone's pitting just yet, it's still a bit early. So let's see if we can try and pass Yuki. All depends on the final corner, and if we get a good exit, which we don't. As always, whenever I need a good exit, I can't seem to get one, but we should have good overspeed to potentially challenge. Up the inside into turn 1. Bit of a tight one there. Didn't really go in with much of an angle, but we've got it done on the brakes. And we're through. Let's see if we have any pace to try and close up to the cars ahead, though. They're all running in a bit of a pack, so they should start losing a bit of time at this stage on those soft tyres.
Nico has come into the pits. He's in the pit lane now.
ROSBERG pits, so he is quite far ahead then. He's having a pretty solid weekend so far. Good to see. Happy for Nico. Quite an early stop though compared to everybody else. We are going to rejoin ahead of Bottas. And I think Bottas will actually feed out in a bit of traffic, as will ROSBERG. I'm actually slightly faster than the cars ahead, so let's keep pushing here. And we've got more cars in the pit lane this lap. Ricardo's in. He was the car directly ahead of us. Quite a few in actually, and then the remaining cars should pit on this lap. Looks like we're going to rejoin neck and neck here with Hamilton and Verstappen. They've both gone for the hard compound tyre. Let's see if I can stay within Verstappen's DRS for the back straight. So Sebastian Vettel in the pit lane along with the remaining cars. Somehow we've still got DRS on Verstappen. I managed to hold on throughout the lap on the back straight and also cross the detection point within Verstappen's DRS. I've overcooked that massively onto turn 1 here. I'm going to let Hamilton go. Just completely overcommitted there with the straight line speed. I wasn't used to it with the DRS, so Hamilton will go through. Look at ROSBERG, man. ROSBERG running in P6. He's on a set of soft tyres, so he's going for another stop shortly after this. But Nico having a great race. I think the fans outside the dogs are definitely cheering him on, which is awesome to see. We should get DRS from Lewis here as well, for good measure. This is very encouraging. We're not being dropped by Verstappen and Lewis. I'm keeping pace pretty decently, actually. Perez isn't catching me at all. So we're looking pretty decent. Personal best as Stroll finally pits. He went pretty long on those soft tyres. And ROSBERG still can't get past Perez on the soft tyre, but hopefully soon he'll be able to achieve that. But we're flying right now. This pace is really good. This is basically an overcut, and this has put me right in the race right now. Still not a single word about the rain. So we're going to commit to the original strategy, and we're going to box this lap. Hopefully ROSBERG doesn't join me in the pit lane and stack, because that would make 0 sense. It's funny though, the one race where ROSBERG seems to be really fast and on pace, and somehow after these round of pit stops I'm going to be ahead of him in terms of actual net position, as he's 2 stopping and I'm 1 stopping. So it's funny how that works out. As we get our first one for track limits, into the pit lane we go. ROSBERG, please don't pit, mate. Stay out 1 more lap. Thank you. Right, soft tyres. This should be fun. We might struggle the last couple laps in terms of performance, but still that's when the rain's arriving in theory, so we'll see what happens. Now there's a little pack of cars heading to the final corner. That's what I'm looking at right now. 2.1, it's a good stop. This could be massive. We might just come out ahead of Ocon and this pack of cars here.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Oh yes, that's perfection. Now ROSBERG is going to rejoin in the thick of that, I'm pretty sure. Unless he pushes like crazy right now in this end lap. But we are just ahead of that train, and we are already P8 in this race, so we're already finishing in the points. The question is, how many more can we score? I believe some cars may have to stop again still, so we may gain a few more places. So let's see how this all shakes out. But right now we're looking very decent for some very good points, and justifying the engine penalty change. ROSBERG in the pit lane. Russell pits as well. Let's see how this all shakes out. I'm hoping ROSBERG, rejoins in clean air ahead of this traffic behind me, but I don't think it's going to happen. Purple sector 3. There we go. We clear ROSBERG. Is he going to rejoin in clean air? He might actually. He's gone for mediums, but he's done it. ROSBERG has managed to just get ahead of the traffic, which is awesome for us as a team. Really happy about that. So let's see. ROSBERG obviously on a slower tyre, but that's the second warning. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Which we've got 2 warnings in the space of like 3 laps. So it's such a clean race so far. But that's great to see though. ROSBERG having a very strong race today. No idea if we've done enough for our fastest lap here, but 30.7.
The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:29.8.
29.8. Fair enough. Missed out by a couple of tenths. I think I can try and beat that this lap. Just got to use more battery.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
So there's the message. We'll see how that pans out. You never know. Might be able to see the race out on dryers. That does seem quite late, so I think we won't see much wet weather action. Across the line we go. Oh, we just messed up the final corner, 29.8. I still didn't get the fastest lap, man. I don't know if we'll be able to get it on this lap. Tyres are starting to lose the edge a little bit already. Nope, I tried again. I couldn't quite get it. I think that's me done. I've tried it a few times. Just didn't quite have the pace. Besides, I'll probably get it and then someone will just snatch it off me straight away anyways. Let's focus on bringing this home in P6, unless the rain has something to say before the race finishes.
Ooh, we have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Snowed out. Will there be a late twist in the tail here? It looks like there won't be, which I don't mind. I'm quite happy where I am, to be honest. My tyres are starting to go off, so I don't really want to have to defend for my life against people on hard and medium tyres at this stage.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
No chance. I think we're going to see this race out on dries, so I'm very happy we stuck to the strategy. We've been catching the cars ahead, but that gap has kind of just stabilised now. We're not really catching anymore as my soft tyres are starting to go, especially on the fronts. But you never know, something might happen. A podium is right there. Okay, so it's just got quite overcast all of a sudden. Literally, in the space of 3 corners. I still don't think nothing's going to happen as Lando passes Perez for a podium position right now. Well then, last lap of the race. We've got a yellow at the final corner. Something's happened. I think someone's retiring right on the last lap. So it doesn't really make a difference. Hamilton's going to win it for Mercedes, and that is massive for the World Drivers' Championship. Meanwhile, it's going to be a very good day at the office for us. From P22, we've recovered to P6, confirmation of Latifi's retirement. And not just that, Rosberg will score his first proper points in P7. What a race from Nico, and that's more like it. Both cars in the top 7. We'll take that.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure the win here in Austin. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
And there we go then, job done for us in today's race. We finish in P6, Rosberg P7, and it feels good having both cars in the top 10 quite comfortably, it really does. It's a bit of a turning point for us, but Hamilton picks up the win, Verstappen P2, Norris P3 back on the podium for the first time in a while, Perez P4 ahead of Lance Stroll, very strong race from Lance in the Aston Martin, and then behind us is Sebastian Vettel in P8 in the second Aston Martin ahead of Ocon and Sainz. Missing out on the top 10, Valtteri Bottas P11 on a 2-stop strategy, not able to make that work. Russell P12, Ricciardo P13 with the fastest lap, Giovinazzi, Leclerc, Gasly, Raikkonen, Latifi, Mazepin and Schumacher, and finally Lundgaard round out the race finishers with Tsunoda a complete DNF. Latifi, even though he DNF'd a lap down, he still finished P18 ahead of Mazepin, Schumacher and Lundgaard, which is insane. So fair play. We're now going to move into the standings, drivers and constructors. And first of all, Drivers' Championship, we are equal on points with Lando. So Lando, of course, on the podium today. We did respond with a good result, and we're neck and neck on count back. We're ahead because we won a race. So yeah, really decent stuff. Rosberg up to P14 with those 6 points and into the visible part of the table. And then in the constructors, for the first time in this entire series, I believe, all the points are not my own. 6 of them belong to Nico Rosberg. We're 8 points behind Aston Martin, and the fight is on. We might be able to actually beat them and get a top 4 finish in the constructors. Either way, guys, that's going to be it for me here today. We're going to try and save points on R&D upgrades. So yeah, we're going to jump back into the menu and see if we can do any activities or any other stuff, maybe possibly before the next race in Mexico. Now, after the race, we do lose quite a few points to Verstappen in the rivalry. He gets a 3-point advantage, which takes his total advantage up to 6 points now. So it's looking a little bit tricky for us to try and turn this one around. In terms of acclaim, some pretty decent gains all round, but I don't think we've got enough to go up to level 18 just yet. So that will happen in the next episode. Finally, in terms of cash payouts, First of all, the sponsor bonuses, we're going to get all of them, which is great, and we're going to get an extra 752k. Elsewhere, damages, not a lot. We take home an extra 82,500, so pretty decent all round. We're now going to move though into activities. Now we're back in the office, and I've gone ahead and given ROSBERG some simulator training just to kind of fill the gap a little bit. It will give him a bit more experience heading into the next race, pretty much. In terms of elsewhere, one of the upgrades has arrived onto the car already after that race. We've got 3 more on the way as well, which is really, really good before the next race in Mexico, which is only 3 days away. So the fact we're getting 3 upgrades on is really, really cool. Obviously, 2 of them are durability related, but still good fun. Now, if we go over to the progress chart, those 3 are the last ones. So once these arrive, that's going to be it for us this season. So wherever it takes us, potentially above McLaren as the 3rd best team, that's going to be it. We're going to see out the season with those upgrades and hope it does the job. So we're going to skip ahead to the next race and see if everything else arrives. Now, we've been interrupted by a personnel department event, and it's a star interview. We've had a proposition for you to consider. A social media star wants to interview you for a video he is creating and wants to meet with you as soon as possible. This will delay our plans to train with your teammate, but ultimately it's up to you. Now, if we agree, we get an extra 2,000 on the acclaim. If we decline, ROSBERG gets a +10 on the racecraft. Now, realistically, we don't need a claim anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and decline. Now, the good news to go on top of that is that all of the upgrades have arrived. Now, one of them was actually not mine, hence why we still have a MGUK upgrade pending. That should arrive after this race. Now, I believe the other upgrade was a general wear, which is courtesy of Honda. Right now, we're the 3rd best team. We'll see if that changes heading into the next weekend at Mexico. But that's going to be it from me here today, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, then leave a like. Let's try and smash over 1,200 likes on this episode once again. Subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel. And as always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen it. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see all of you next time.